Hey y'all, today we are going to go over how to do a straight edge color change as compared to when you're just doing a normal single crochet to single crochet and getting that kind of spiky blocky color change. To alleviate that, we will change the pattern up just ever so slightly so that we have a smooth transition and we don't have to see any unsightly little prongs except for on the back. So one-sided pattern. There, I will go over a little bit how you can deal with it, whether you're working in the round or working in just a straight block, at least how I've come into contact with it. But we will go ahead and get started. I am working with a size 4 medium yarn. It's 100% cotton. And instead of using that 5.5 mm crochet hook the yarn recommends, I am using a 4 millimeter. But let's go ahead and jump in. To start our color change, we are actually going to start in the very last stitch of the row before we switch colors. When finishing a row, you would just have that one remaining loop, and then you would be able to chain one and turn. In this case, we actually want to start when we have our 2 loops on our hook. So just go ahead and grab that guy. And from here, I'm going to swap to my new color, pulling everything tight. And then I can go ahead and chain one and turn. And it's a little bit fussy. You'll probably have to keep pulling to get this to stay. But so now that I have added my new color, I'm also going to change the stitch I do. So this very first stitch to make a clean color change is going to end up being a slip stitch in the back loop. So for the first one, I like to turn it this way so that I can see I'll be going into this back loop right here and completing my slip stitch. And I'll continue that down the row. We can even pop this back over. So we are going to go into the back loop, being the loop furthest from us. And just complete this row all the way across. Here, I've heard that generally for when you're working in a project and you're trying to count each of your rows, that this is not considered counted as a row. I want to say that that is only truly in the round. In a project I'm working in right now, I've found that I do want to count this as a row, especially when I'm going between different color blocks, so that I have about the same width for each row. But I've gone ahead and completed that back loop. As you can see, this is going to be the front. It's going to be a very clean edge, and this is already kind of showing a pattern, so this will be your back. So this clean edge is not going to be visible from both sides. You'll have a clear front and back. But to start the next row, we'll go ahead, chain one and turn. And so now, once again, we'll be working in the back row only. So I would flip it forward just so I can see that first loop. But here we'll go ahead and put a single crochet into each of those back rows. Ooh. And we actually might just work vertically just because it's a little bit easier to see. Oh my goodness. And if we come over here, we'll just continue all the way across. Yeah, as I was saying, I think the best route is experimentation with how you would keep those row counts. Because again, I find that I do want to count that very first row. It also, if I have, for instance, an even row count, it keeps my color change on the same end. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to talk and do this all at once. And so all of my tails will be on the same end, but also that will maintain that even appearance. But I believe working in the round when you're doing this, you would not in fact count the slip stitch row because that's going to be pushed out to the front, and you would just start your count with this single crochet row. Alrighty, and so we have polished off this. We'll go through that very last one. I just somehow, oh, I actually went through it by accident. And so in that second row, you'll see we're on the back side, so we have an alternating appearance. But we can now chain one to turn and continue our pattern. And we have completed the straight edge color transition.